Everybody, and welcome back to Griffin, Indiana. It is mid-autumn, and you can see our canola is coming up out of the ground. Had some good weather over the last few weeks. Got it popped up. But, yeah, we are needing to get some more lime in the soil, bring the pH up a little bit. It's a little bit acidic. Crops will definitely thank us over winter and into the next year. And we've had 4 harvests since the last time we put lime down. About time we put a little bit more down. So we're going to have to head down the shop and see about picking up a lime spreader, because we just do not happen to have one of those. Buy some lime, and well, that's what we're going to be doing today, is spreading lime on our 3 fields. And then we're going to come back and put some fertilizer down on all 3 of those fields. Also, get them all in a really good position so that they'll be ready to go dormant over winter and come back strong in the springtime. This video is brought to you by David Gillespie. Thank you for being a farm baron. So I have to say, I was considering possibly selling field 21 because it's so far removed from the farm. But we were only going to get $191,000 off of that field. And there really wasn't any other option as far as land near us that we could pick up for about that much money. So ultimately it was kind of a losing endeavor to sell that plot of land and then try to pick something up local. Let me show you a land survey as we're waiting for this this spreader to fill up. So yeah, according to the land survey, we're going to get $191,000 off of that 7.9 acre field. Now, if we go up here and look, there really isn't anything up here. So field 8, 13.5 acres. Now, some of that is forest and a pond, $295,000. 8.6 acres, $231,000. Field 12 and field 31 come as a together plot, so that's out of the question. Field 14 is a little bit more money, but it's closer, but it's not that closer to make it worth the transition. So yeah, we really don't have a way of picking up any more land. Pick up this small grass plot, but $271,000. Just not worth it. So I think we're going to hold on to field 21 for another year at least. And maybe we'll be in a better position to maybe swap it out for another field next year. Certainly don't want to go into more debt. And we're down to $16,000 at this point. By the time we get done putting the lime down on the fields and getting fertilizer down on the fields, probably only going to have about 10 grand left, maybe. If that. And that's going to hold us through the year? No. Now, thankfully, we're going to be selling our silage bales here in a few months. That'll help us get our costs back, but I think we're going to have to pay the bank something like $1,700 a month in interest for as long as we, carry that $200,000 balance. So it's going to really be in our best interest to get that paid down as soon as possible. I did ask them to go ahead and put the spreading discs on this thing. go ahead and get our guidance steering laid up. I like to, on this field, do the outside edge here because it is kind of an odd angle, and then we'll bother with coming in and filling in. Make sure we are set to auto, which we are in indeed. But yeah, we got to bring up pretty much all our fields one whole pH point. So this will help with the next few years worth of harvest. And in fact, we shouldn't need to put any more lime down after this. We should be good through the duration of our 4 years worth of gameplay. I don't know why it wants to do an offset. I do know some people like to put lime down after every single harvest, but the reality is you really don't need to. I mean, typically, depending on the soil type, your soil is going to drop anywhere between 1.25 or 0.125 pH value or 0.25 pH value per harvest. And in essence, you really don't lose that much yield from such a small decrease to really make it worth your while. In fact, a fellow content creator, Driver53, he did a video series where he did all kinds of tests. Crazy console guys, they love to do their tests. At any rate, he did all kinds of tests to basically figure out how many times do you have to harvest before it's worth putting lime down based on your yield reduction and the cost that it takes to put lime on the field. And he found, I think, in the end that it varied per crop somewhat and somewhat per soil type, but ultimately some crop, it never paid off. You never lost enough yield through like 10 harvests to really make it worth the while to put lime down. Other crops, there was definitely a return on investment. Some was after like 3 harvests, some was after like 6 harvests in general, before the reduction in yield from the harvest was greater than the cost of lime. So there we go. Now we are A-OK. Perfect on our lime value. We still need to put down a whole heap load of nitrogen. That's where our costs are going to come in. Got hit by a rogue tree there, I think. So let's go fill this puppy back up. I'm going to run down and what is this? Let's see. But he went and harvested his potatoes. So I'm going to go and fill this up with lime and run down to field 21. See how much I can get put down on there. I'll probably have to come back and get at least one more load, given the fact that that small field used up nearly an entire container of lime. So we'll probably need 2 loads of lime down there and possibly up to 3 loads of lime on our northernmost field. And come back when we're putting down some nitrogen. Oh, oh, look here. Let's see. 9%. This is my last pass. 8. 7. 6. Oh my gosh. How close am I going to get? 5. 4. 3. 2. Oh. 251 liters of lime left. I tell you, I wasn't sure if I'd have to go back and get a third load of lime off of, I don't even know why I'm going to keep it. I don't need to keep it. Just go ahead and send it back. I only needed 2 loads on that big field. I needed a load and a small part off of the bottom field. And wow, that worked out great. I was really worried that I would have to go and kind of get a partial load and really just guess on how much lime I might need. So I went ahead and parked my harvester inside of here, inside the new shed. And we got our header, trailer on the outside. Then we got to run back down and get ourselves a fertilizer. We'll go ahead and fill this thing up. We're only down to $10,000 at this point. Fertilizer is going to cost us a fortune. Now there were a couple fertilizing contracts on the board. I might have to take a couple fertilizing contracts to pay for the fertilizer that I need to buy in order to fertilize my own fields. Well, let's just see how it all works out. So we've got 2 fields fertilized, and I got 41%, 1,600 liters left. I bought 3 pallets of fertilizer, and we're down to $4,500. We definitely will have enough fertilizer to hit our very last field here, which is the smallest field of all 3. And just for fun, I did go ahead and take out that $5,000 fertilizer contract over on field 27. So the big question is, will we have enough fertilizer to do this field and field 27, which will put us back up to right around 10,000. And therefore, that one contract will have paid for almost all of the fertilizer that we needed to put down on all 3 of our fields, which would be really good because, like I said, our coffers are running pretty low at this point. $4,500. We've got a couple days before we're going to sell our silage bales, and we got to make that interest payment on the loan. Can't leave that go unpaid, or they'll go and repossess the bank or repossess the farm on us. There we go. Just one little shot right here. Alright, well, let's do it. Anyway, let's go hit field 27. See if we can get it done in with 1,200 liters of fertilizer. And if we can, then that means that we're good. Back up to $10,000. Don't need to get any more fertilizer. 1:16 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, I've left the clock at 5x speed for today because today was a pretty light day. All we were going to do was lime. All we were going to do was fertilize. Boom, we're done. The entire month of October is done at this point for us. And it looks like, for the most part, all the other virtual farmers on this particular map have harvested their crops So even though we have our own harvester now, we're not even going to be able to make use of it to maybe pick up a harvest contract to possibly help pay off some of the loan. So that is kind of disappointing. I mean, there's a few fields that have beets in them. I don't really have much interest in doing a beet contract, and quite frankly, they're not up on the board anyway. So field 27 is just on the other side here of the sell point. It's kind of an irregularly shaped field. We're going to keep our spreader at 45 meters, and that'll get the job done lickety-split. But we also have to be careful about not overlapping ourselves and not fertilizing too much outside of the field boundary because of that big working limit. You see how far out that spreader chucks the fertilizer. We want to be as close to that edge as possible because we don't want to overlap. As you can see, our fertilizer is ticking down quite a bit. Now, if we changed it to 24, which is the narrowest width, then the fertilizer would tick down slower, but we would have to spend more time on the field. And basically, it's been calibrated overall that ultimately it shouldn't cause us to spend less or more fertilizer. So down to 900 liters. This won't take long at all. Remember, we only have to get to 90%. We don't even have to get full coverage on this thing. Let's fade up this way a little bit. Lock in a new course. Just like that. There we go. Well, thank you all for coming out and watching today's video once again. Hope you all are enjoying our 3-day seasons playthrough here on Griffin, Indiana. Kind of getting a warm-up. Kind of getting a feel for how we might need to play seasons in Farming Simulator 22. Next video, I'm going to talk about the season clock calculator that I worked up. That is available on my Google Drive. I'll put a link to it in the description in the next video. But basically allows you to calculate up how fast of a clock do you need to set, or how slow of a clock do you need to set in FS22 to simulate the same amount of hours you might have in FS19. So until next time, happy farming.